Howdy folks, we got this beauty today. It is a Fender HotRod Deluxe version 3 I believe, and what it's getting is the Fromel kit. The kit from Fromel. There were some parts missing, and look, we live in Australia and they're all the way in Seattle, Washington, so you know, and the parts that were missing were little tiny resistors and capacitors. Not many, but you know, it's heartbreaking. Anyway, I've gone through what needs to happen, and you know, I can skip all the part about exposed circuit boards and your safety and all that stuff, and get to the actual part where we need to modify the chassis. Now, unfortunately, these instructions look like they're a universal set of instructions for their different versions of their kits. So, I am going to do the modifications that relate to the parts that I have in the kit, and we'll see how we go. So, what I'm planning on doing, the parts that come with this kit, all the filter caps are getting replaced with F&Ts, so that's a plus for Fromel. The second thing I'll be doing is there are some resistors and capacitors, mainly around the tone circuit, that are being replaced. And then some of them are actually being completely cut out of the circuit and will be replaced with a jumper wire. So some of the things I've noticed on here since opening the amplifier is, so this R97 here has some burn marks around, you know, let's get in focus here. You can see some burn marks here. So this resistor's been cooking. The thermistor, or the NTC, which is like a little, I guess a little mini surge protector. It's a soft start kind of switch. It'll go off in spikes. If you look there where my fingernail is, the bottom of it's blown. Like I said, the filter caps are being replaced. The 47 microfarad, 500 volt, 22 UF, 22 microfarad, 22 microfarad, and all the way up here, another 22 microfarad. These are all going to be replaced. There's our bias pot here, which it's getting new tubes, so the amp will be rebiased. And then there's some more burn marks around these two resistors here, which is quite typical of these amplifiers. In fact, the one I've got hiding behind that banjo, same problems. So, common issue, and yeah, we're gonna do the fun thing right now of taking all these nuts and bolts out, all these knobs off, all these nuts here, and we're gonna get the circuit board out. Hopefully I will be able to just pull the circuit board out this way, get in underneath it without too much drama. Okay, welcome back all. So far I have done heaps. Probably taken me about an hour. What I've done is I've had to remove this sub PCB that has all the tube sockets on there. So preamp tubes, phase inverter, power tubes, and output jacks, in order to get the PCB out, because it wouldn't just fold out, of course. I've got a light shining on here for now. It's really bright, so I apologize about the overexposure, but it's a bit like an X-ray. You can kind of see through the PCB. However, what I have done is I have replaced the caps with these F&Ts, okay, and this one down here, whoops, there we go. These are the old ones. They will now go in the bin. They're useless. These things are probably worth about $2–3. So the next step is to look at the instruction manual for the Fromel kit and see what's next. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so looking at the instructions here, I've removed C31 from the main PCB. It's the biggest capacitor. That's step 4 there. I've kind of jumped ahead a little bit, but next, I'm going to go to step 1. Remove power resistors R78 and R79, which are these things right here. Okay, so if I'm able to bend the PCB back now, I don't want to do too much of that because I don't want to put much stress on these here. I am going to reflow those solder joints for these anyway because they're notorious at going wrong. They're getting replaced with these ones that came in the Fromel kit. 470 ohm, 5 watt, Zycon resistors. Hey, alright. We're getting through this process slowly but surely. So far what we've done is we've installed the 0.1 Weimer box cap at C5, the 0.015 Weimer box cap at C6. At C7 we've installed the 250 picofarad silver mica cap. Let's stop there for a second. So I know these instructions are meant for everyday people. However, this could have said install 250p silver mica cap at C7, so it's consistent. So the instructions aren't written too consistently. So that's something to be careful of when you're doing this. I'll show you what I've done. So C5, C6, and C7. This is basically the tone stack. So what we have here, let me see if I can clean this up. Okay, here we have C7, here we have C5, and here we have C6. Those are the three caps that they're talking about. So the next thing it goes to is R12 100k quarter watt resistor. Okay, the small one. It's this one down here between C6 and C5 and C7. That's C5, that's C7. R12 is hidden behind here. There it is. Next step after that is the mid-tone pot, bridge pins 2 and 3, which are the holes closest to the power and standby switch. So bridge them together. And if we have a look here, we will see that I've bridged them together. For the HotRod Deluxe 3, which is what this amp is, installer provided 100k pot in the volume. So here is that pot right here. And you can see, if I focus, A100k, that's the volume pot, and it's been installed. Now, you can also see these capacitors installed. This is the volume for clean channel, this is the volume for the drive channel. Because the next step, right underneath that is, out of focus, is brightness. Install the 100 picofarad mica caps across pin 2 and 3 on both the volume and drive pots on the solder side of the PCB. And here they have a picture of what to do. And here is what I've done. Okay, that's what I'm up to so far. Because the next bit, the power resistors, I've already installed. And I'll show you that right here. Where are they? Here they are. We've already looked at that. Okay, so the next step we're up to is the plate load resistors. At R57, install the 82k half watt resistor, and then install the 100k half watt resistors at R58, R4, and R11, and R16 and R22. R22 will not be installed if you're doing the Global Master Volume mod, see page 7. Reverb mod, okay, so plate load resistors, so all of these can't be, they all can't be the plate load resistors. So the thing is there's only 3 resistors left in this kit. And I believe these were the bits that were missing. So, I don't believe any one of these is 100k, but I'm going to measure them. And the only reason I'm going to measure them instead of looking at the color codes is because sometimes, and I'm not colorblind, but sometimes these colors lie. See, this middle resistor, both these lines look green to me, and I'm not colorblind, I've been checked, but one's green and one's blue through the camera. So look, I'm just going to put my multimeter on there because, you know, I paid good money for it, and I'm going to check which one it is. So stay tuned. Alright, so this is the 82 kilo ohm, so 82,000 ohm resistor, plate load resistor, half watt. This is going to go into R57, which is on the board where your tube sockets are, and it's this one right here. Okay, R57, so this resistor right here, that's going to come off, and we're going to replace it with this one. Alrighty folks, we've pretty much finished all the modifications. It's now about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just going to run through everything we've done. So, reattach the ground wire, don't forget that. I've currently got the amp switched on. It's on standby mode, so the I'm not sure if this came with the kit or not, but it included two 12AX7s in the preamp. It didn't include one for the phase inverter, so I've just used one of the customer's old tubes. Look, it's easy enough for them to replace. It doesn't need biasing or anything like that, so I'll leave that up to them. And it also included these 6L6 GCs, and they looked like, they're JJs, but they look like they come in a big bottle. They're very large. Sort of the base tapers out, and they're quite big. Yeah, I've got a pair of JJ's 6L6 GCs in a Fender Super 112 that I did a little while ago. They don't look like this. Anyway, so the amp's on standby right now. It's just heating up. I did a quick check of the voltages just at the filter caps here, and all looks well. So what I'm going to do now is bias the amplifier. While we're talking about the parts that I looked at, so the parts that I replaced. Where are we? So sorry, I've turned the amp around the other way. So all the filter caps are done. Okay, these two resistors here are done. We've got the tone section. Capacitors are done, resistors done. More filter caps down here, and then there were some resistors and capacitors on the circuit board here where the valves are. So what I'm going to do right now is basically bias the amp. Now, one thing that Fender has done really nicely is they have a bias pot right here, and on the board here where the 6L6s are, this point right here, it actually says bias test point. So I'm going to check that right now. I have the speaker plugged in, and I have all of the volumes, tones, treble, bass, everything turned down to 0. Right now it's on the clean channel, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Alrighty folks, well, I've sorted out the issue that I had just before. Like I was saying, I've put in a brand new 12AX7 in V1 and V2. They're our preamps. And in V3, which is our phase splitter or phase inverter or whatever you want to call it, I've used one of their old 12AX7s that was originally in there. Now, the first one I put in was microphonic and crackling when I tapped it. This one is whisper quiet. The amp is on standby right now. However, I am going to show you how to bias this amplifier. It's very easy. However, very easy does not mean it's safe. It is still fraught with danger, and there's a possibility of electrocution and possibly death. So, the test point we have is right up here at this point of the circuit board. Now let me see if I can focus in on that. So, our point will go right here. Okay. Now, in order for me to show you this with one hand, I'm going to connect my multimeter up to this resistor on the underside of the circuit board. So bear with me for just one moment and I'll get that sorted out. Alrighty, so what I've done here is I have connected my positive end of my multimeter to that resistor here, and I believe it's a 1 ohm resistor. Focus in on that, good. And then the other side of my multimeter, I've just connected it to ground down here, and you can see there, you can see there that my mobile phone is interfering with the amplifier, and we're currently sitting on 61 milliamps. Okay, now if I put my little wooden chopstick onto the bias test point, which is R82, watch what happens when I turn the bias test point. I'm turning it very slowly, and I'm increasing the millivolts or the milliamps, that's the current going through the tubes. Now Fender recommends you set this to, it says plus 60 millivolts. People all over the internet are saying between 60 and 70. So what I'm going to do is leave it at 65. So you can see it's hovering between 65 and 66 there. Okay, so it's right in the middle. Now, what I'm also doing is I'll have a little visual of the tubes here and make sure they're not red plating. Okay, they are warm, which is good, but they are not red plating. And that's the most important thing. Okay, so I kind of get them in the dark a little bit here, and I'll turn the lights off when I'm ready to have a proper look. So here we are, pretty much almost in the dark. I'm going to flick the amp back on. Okay, and we will sit here and watch the tubes, just to be on the safe side. Okay, looking down here at my multimeter, we're sitting on 66 milliamps, 65, 66 milliamps, so nothing's changed there. And I'm watching the tubes, and I'm going to keep this amp on. Now, there's a little hint of purple glow there. Let me see if I can focus in on that. Can you see that? Okay, nothing really horrible there. The next thing to do really is to plug an instrument in and play it and hear what it sounds like. Now, it's about 1:15 in the morning. My gorgeous partner is asleep, well and truly. That means I'm going to go to sleep as well. So now, curious, the amp has warmed up, and now the bias has dropped. See that? So we're at 63, so we're actually getting closer. 64, 63. We're getting closer to what Fender recommends this amp be set at. Okay, so I'm looking at the tubes from different angles just to make sure there is no red plating whatsoever. Alright, well, look, that's it for now.